All right, let's go and get started. Howdy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sharkinbear, and welcome back to the channel where today we're taking a first look at Rogue Loops. This is a game that came back out on the 4th of April 2025. The Steam description says Rogue Loops is a roguelite action game where a trapped family battles to escape an endless loop, find unique skills and relics to create powerful synergies and against the loop's guardians. As you get stronger, so does the loop. You can break free from this relentless cycle. So this is a game I've been putting a little bit of time into the last couple of hours. It looks like I have about 7 hours on record as of right now. I just unlocked the final member of the family, because that's exactly what happens. As you start the game, you only have access to Aiden, the son. And as you progress further into the game, you get access to the daughter, Amber, who is an archer, Gabriel, who is a fisticuffs type of dude. Aiden, by default, is kind of like a melee guy, but he seems to use magic instead of a sword whenever he swings his fist, or swings his hand, I don't know. And then we have Cersei, the mother, but she is an absolute magic spellcaster on her own, from what I can tell so far. As you can see, they all have generally their own stats here, with Gabriel having the highest, well, mother actually, Cersei actually has the highest attack power, but the lowest health. He has highest attack power, but or second highest attack power, but more health, but that's probably because he's more melee. Amber has the least amount of health, as well as a decent amount of attack. It's kind of on the lower end, but she can shoot her bow fairly rapidly. And then Aiden the son has, the third most health, but also a fairly decent amount of attack. So they all definitely have a different level of balance. The thing that keeps them unique, other than just the playstyle, is as you do your runs, you can unlock new things. Over here is this weird creature over here in the corner that we can spend souls on. Souls are gained by beating bosses for the first time with a specific character. Then you come over here to this Blessings of Omen, and you can basically spend those to level up a character and unlock cool new things, such as, for instance, Cersei over here starts out with the Beam of the Reaper. If I were to level this up, she would then get overflowing magic. Cersei can accumulate more magic power to fire the beam for a longer time. That basically makes it so where Beam's Reaper can fire off longer. She also has an option, and so do the other characters, to get in an alternate ability. Her alternate ability be called Terresh's Decree. Cersei unleashes the energy she has accumulated, cursing the area around her. As long as enemies remain active, all enemies that take damage, press the special ability again, key to activate. So essentially, she can lay down an area of effect that does damage over time. But we're going to play with the Beam of the Reaper, see how far we can get with that. Here in the middle is a wishing well. You get this stuff called blue essence. You can see in the top right hand corner we have three basically currencies. The green one being our souls, that's where we spend to level up our characters. The paper is parchment, which is I think where we learn new abilities. You don't have to spend them, they just got automatically get collected and then you learn new stuff. Our souls over here can use to be bought wishes, and then gold is the in-game run currency. This guy over here has the reliquary, and he can show you the skills that you have unlocked so far. There's a bevy of things to choose from. And then over here we have this witch, and the witch can use our blue essence to essentially help us in a variety of ways, such as buying wishes or upgrading a healing well, which allows us to heal us between biomes. Over here, the wishing well, I'll just showcase it just a little bit. So this is a very cool layout. I have already filled out one tree, but essentially you can see it's divided into 3 sections. Basically, you can more or less fill out the sections if you so choose, but essentially you can rotate them out as you see me doing right here. If you don't want to like this part, you can try out a different part, but they do different things on a minor level. Some of them can be pretty significant. I started with this one because I was playing Aiden, and Aiden can get behind people fairly quickly and do a lot of backstab damage, or if an enemy turns their back to you, you can do some stuff here. So this first part right here is about doing backstab damage. The second part here, I have just building attack power and also giving us luck, and whenever you dodge an attack, you gain 100% extra damage to your next attack. I'm about to fill out on one of the wishes here, increase the rarity of the stuff we find by 2%. There's another one here, so we can get 4% total. And then I like this top tree, mostly because it starts out with giving you 2 dashes in a row. We got 3 additional attack damage coming from that one. And we also have increased crit damage by 50, since we have both these nodes. But as you get through the game, you can actually get more wishes and swap out these things as you wanted to find a build for yourself. This is kind of just a general build here. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and get the run started. If you like this content, you want to see more games like Rogue Loops here on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you think of the game. And let's go ahead and start it. I'm gonna go ahead and start a loop. Oh, looks like we actually have. I didn't know that there was a Wheel of Curses. Oh, I see. So this is new here. So this is I'm gonna go through normal just because we've never played this with Cersei before, and so she still has souls to collect. But here you can actually see who can collect a soul on which run. So as you see over here, I've already collected the soul from the boss of the other 3 characters, but not Cersei. Same here, and I still have to collect the soul of the final boss of the 3rd realm with him, or Aiden. That's kind of interesting. I can see myself trying this out. This looks pretty fun. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I am going to go ahead and apologize in advance if I suck ass with Cersei, because this is literally my first time using her. She is strong, but she is a slow spellcaster. So what you see behind me is the arena that we're going to be fighting in. It's divided into 2 halves. We're in the bottom half, and then whenever we finish the round, we're going to go in the top half, and then you kind of go in a loop, just as the game intended. But every time you go into a new section of the loop, you got to impose a penalty on yourself, but you get a reward in return. So if we go with this one right here, anytime we kill enemies, their powers will get stronger. Or over here, periodically, there will be a wall of fire that goes right through you in the middle of the map and divides the map a little bit. You can dash through it, you just don't want to stand on top of it. I think I'm going to go with the Enrage. It's a little bit easier to deal with. And then it promised me a powerful spell, so now we get to choose from 2 spells. We can do Ice Meteor to summon a giant chunk from the sky, does freezing damage, or we can do Fire Nova. I'm going to go ahead and go with Ice Zone, because of the fact, you know what, no, actually, I'm going to go with the Burn, because I just did a Burn run, and burns are actually not that bad, especially after a while you can actually get the burns to spark off of enemies and hit other enemies and light them on fire. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm going to go ahead and pick that one. We're going to get run started. As you can see, we have the fire explosion on our left bumper. If I hold that down, you can actually perfect cast the stuff. And as you can see, I believe Cersei's thing is that she can, wow, she does a lot of splash damage. And it seems like her stuff tracks a little bit. And that's her Blood Reaper, or whatever her Reaper ability is. Every time we hit enemies with their spells, we build up charges for that. Alright, let's see, we're on the top portion right here. We can go for Essence, our meta progression currency, or we can go with the increased health. I think I'm going to go with increased health, because she starts out with a fairly low amount of health. I'm going to go ahead and use this. That Fire Nova is really strong. And I will tell you right off the bat, this starts off a little bit easy, but especially as we get into the second half of the second biome, it does get a little bit difficult. The only way to gain money is, I believe, through taking them through things like this. I think you get a small amount of money whenever you kill a wave, but it does actually... Stuff is expensive in this. So I'm thinking we're going to go after the gold, because this movement speed will be reduced after dashing thing. It really sucks. It's only like a half second you're slowed, but like every second counts, especially when the amount of monsters you got coming at you is growing. As you can see, that enemy over there in particular had a yellow health bar. It's a shielded enemy, more or less. If you're familiar with any game whatsoever that has health bars, I'm sure you're fairly familiar with what shielded enemies do. But if you're not, don't worry. I don't hold it against you. I don't know what your knowledge base is. But essentially, enemies are uninterruptible while they have an armor gauge for their health bar. As soon as you destroy that, you can stun lock enemies just by hitting them over and over again. Definitely a nice thing to do. Also, skills aren't tied to the traditional second cooldown system. Instead, the way spells work in this game is they have a number that you actually have to do in order to get that spell off a cooldown. So for like our fire explosion there, after we cast it, you'll see a number on there. I then have to attack and hit, or not hit. Actually, yeah, probably hit. attack and hit enemies a certain number of times before that spell comes off cooldown. I think I'm gonna go with the getting extra gold. Now we have to watch out for some vines that kind of circle around on the ground. But as I do this ability here, I have to now hit enemies 14 times in order to get this ability off of cooldown. She's definitely a hard-hitting character. I like her. I would say that she's almost like a better version of her daughter, Amber, the archer, if only because it's real. I'm playing with controller now, but I actually beat my first run of this game with the archer, the daughter. However, my big problem being the fact that aiming on controller is really weird in this game. When you're archer, it doesn't kind of like snap to the closest target or whatever. You can actually shoot right over the enemy's heads, and it's kind of a weird thing. All right, so we can go volcanic wrath if we want. We create a magma eruption area, burning and dealing 140 damage to enemies hit. First attack after using a spell will always be a critical. Attack damage increased by 5% with for each relic you have. And now we have 0 relics, so that's not going to do it. Good. I'm going to go ahead and buy this skill, because I've not used this skill before. I'm also going to go ahead and go with enemies burn longer, because if we can get the thing that makes enemies spark fire after they're hit, that's going to be awesome. I've generally been I didn't think I was going to be as big of a fan of the burning as I thought I was. So we're going to go ahead and hit him. Can I can even hold down the button on that one. Nice. And it's cool because this thing actually curves. Let's try oh, I like the magma. And that really is kind of the plus of this spell casting, is that it just kind of locks on. And at first I thought there was going to be like a trade-off or something, but it doesn't seem to be like any sort of trade-off for having to deal with that one. We can go with a relic or attack damage. Her attack damage is really high, so I don't think we're going to deal with that one. Relic can like basically augment something we have in our thing. We now have to deal with a crystal that makes enemies around it invincible. So I think we're dealing with that one. When you enter a new room, attack damage is increased 100% until first dash, or you know what, we'll go with that one. Oh, we dashed. That was on me. Didn't mean to. Did we get hit? Oh, we got hit just a bit. That sucks. I do want to move out of this, though. I'm gonna probably use the laser to my benefit a little bit more. I don't want to be over here. I don't want to be anywhere near that vine. How long, oh, that goes pretty good distance. I'll hit him in the back there, get some backstab damage on him. We did get hit, but only for 2 damage. Was that bad? You are periodically transformed into cheat, and your skill damage is increased by 14%, or we can go for a heal. I think we're still fairly healthy. I'm okay with being a sheep. Alright, a sheeple. You can even see our cooldown on that. About to be a sheep. You can even still roll, which is pretty funny. At least they give us the ability to protect ourselves. You know what I forgot about is the dash thing. I forgot that I was empowering myself there. Is that all of them? Okay, so we got one more enemy. Can we beat him before we become a sheep? Yes, we can. All right. Looks like we have probably, like, honestly, 1 or 2 more rooms before. It looks like That's 2 more, but sometimes it's a little weak. What's our crit chance? 1%. What's a more crit chance? Ouch. I want to get rid of this note up here if I can. Actually, I'm gonna go on this side. You're taking a lot more damage than I would like right now. Luckily for this thing has some reach to it. What do we got over here? Who's left? The splash on this is insane. Alright, so you got some guys over there. We can hit them with that one. More guy over there. There we go. We did get hit a little bit more than I would like. More room. We got powerful skill or powerful skill. We're gonna go with burning wall, and let's see what we got here. We go with an epic skill that got offered to us. Launch a lightning charged orb forward that returns back to you after a short delay, electrifying and dealing 700 damage to enemies hit. I'm actually not gonna go with either of these because I think we're gonna stick with the burn build. Plus, the lightning dance, it's nice for sure, but it's not as nice as I thought it would be. If I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of let down with that one. I actually had that one for a bit. There's our firewall. The one thing that I would say about firewall, by the way, is you definitely want to be careful of how close you are to your previous firewall, because they don't have a minimum distance they have to be. So you can have a firewall pretty much right next to another firewall. You're not watching out, essentially. Oh, you get away from them. There we go. And now we're on to the first boss of the first loop. I've been playing this for about 7 hours. I still can't remember the name of these bosses. There's two variations from each boss from what I can tell so far, at least for the first two. I will say these do see. Oh shoot! I didn't know that projectiles. I wasn't watching out for those. All right, now that that's gone, the real boss will show up. Here, Marid. I didn't think I was in that, but okay. I am doing terrible. Alright, so it's going away. I have got 3 health left. I severely doubt I'm going to make this. Alright, can we do it somehow? Gotta keep moving. And somehow we beat the boss. Like, I am surprised I didn't get in there. Maybe I locked in that last little bit there. What do we got? We got so I purchased the ability to have a shop here. That was one of the things I wished for at Wishing Station, or Wishing Well. back in her hub. But it looks like I can't afford anything other than buying some of the meta progression currency. I'm trying to hold off on that one so we have enough money to buy some augments or something like that if we're offered a shop in the next run. There are ways to also heal yourself mid-run, but you have to be lucky enough to get some of them, and sometimes they're not exactly the best. Looks like we have the ability to break our ankles and have a reduced dash for a time. Or we have the ability to have one of our attacks blocked the first time we hit. I'm gonna go with ankle breaker. I don't want to. I'm gonna go with empowering relics too as well. Oh wow, we can actually. I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. As you can see, the luck of this part is being that the enemies can't actually hit us through some of this. We can actually splash damage, so maybe the ankle breaking thing isn't so bad. I hate that we got it so early, but I picked that one if only because of the fact that I don't want to have to deal I didn't want to have to pick a skill, since I liked both the ones I have so far. Movement speed or maximum health? There we go with maximum health. The good news is we're not imposing the penalties of the bottom half of the circle on ourselves from doing this. We did choose to have a gong playing though. We gotta stay away from the left side. That's where the gong is. And that's just a wave that does damage over time. That little purple thing over there is the gong. I know I can at least stay on the right side of the circle and still do fairly well. This thick cloud thing, really not good. Because when you're inside of it, you can't hear anything either. I mean, a lot of it is vision based, which is fine. And we actually managed to do that entire side by not moving at all. There's the tentacle. What do we got over here? We got thick cloud. We got gold. We can go with relic or gold. I'm gonna go with gold. And now I'm also just gonna spam. I think I don't even need to use my spells that much because we're so long range. Not a problem. I do need to concern myself with the gong. I'm hoping though that most of the enemies will come over here to me. I'm gonna try not to move too much, or at least beware the spellcasters. They throw heat-seeking or target-seeking bolts out at you. But we managed to get over that, and we didn't have to dash, so it's good. The splash damage on that is obscenely crazy. If the splash damage wasn't so good, it probably wouldn't be that great. A dead spirit in the room chasing you to inflict fear, but we get 5% additional crit chance, or we get another relic. I'm gonna go with that because it's easy to deal with. Gonna move for that one though. Not so easy to deal with that one. We can actually dash through the wall, so that is a good saving grace. Alright, good there. I can probably focus a little bit on using my my meter as well. We can increase our skill damage, or we can go to the merchant. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the merchant, so that way we can spend some of our hard-earned. We could probably afford like 3 things if we wanted to. We can go, ooh, the pumpkin. I know this says that it's a common thing, but that pumpkin is really strong. So is fast protection. So basically every time you do a dash, you immediately are saved. I like all 3 of those abilities. I'm thinking that we go with literally these 3. Because dealing more damage to elites, guys, the health bar is pretty nice. The fast protection's really nice, and the flaming pumpkin, I'm gonna take that one. Oh, it's 150. No. Okay, that's fine. We didn't really need it. It would have been nice to have. I could have probably purchased the healing if I wanted to. Big dummy. I'm gonna continue over here. This is making this game feel way easier than the first time I was playing. That's for sure. Cause I struggle with that first run, or the first couple of runs. I am concerned about the ice floor though, because there is a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna go with the healing portal. We're doing so much damage. And I'm not even so much really concerned about the damage of our spells. What I'm really concerned of is if we can get the passive that allows the flames to pass on to other enemies who are not on. There's the oh, that's the problem with this. Oh shoot. Got hit. Looks like we have some enemies over there. Let's see if we can deal with them from over here. I'm thinking if we make it over there to the nest, if we stay on this side of it, yeah, we're not gonna get hit. I don't like this. The fact that I can basically hit all of them at one time, though, I do like that. All right, go with the skill damage. I'm gonna keep on moving. Oh shoot, I forgot about the gong. I am an idiot. Took about a whole unnecessary amount of damage. That's on me. It's a-okay. There's a skill that actually could probably benefit me greatly. There's a passive that says there's a 50% chance for you to actually hit enemies twice with your primary. And I can see that being really strong on her, considering how strong she is inherently with her attacks. We can go with dashing on slippery surfaces, appear in room, or dash blocking. Now it says dash blocking, but you still go sliding across the floor. Then we have dash blocking sticky surfaces. That just makes us run slow. We can't dash inside that. 55 essence or a healing plant. I'm gonna go with healing plant. Ooh. God, I love so badly that I love it. That thing goes out so far. resources. Here's our healing plant, by the way. If at any point in time I wanted to, I can come over here and just go underneath that. That would have given me something. We can go with explosive barrels. We can go with thick cloud. I want relics. We're gonna go with thick cloud. Oh, this one's a good one. Gain 10 armor whenever you defeat an enemy. Gain 1 up to 10 armor. We're gonna go with that one. That gives us just an extra layer of protection. Oh, shoot. Alright, I want to keep our armor stacks high. There we go, we got 10 armor stacks still. Nice. And then, oh, and we're at the boss level already, so I can loop down. Time to go in. And if we're lucky enough to beat this boss, then of course we... Third and final biome before the final boss. There is a final boss, but the boss is like 2 enemy waves and then the boss. We're just gonna... I'm gonna work on that, healing him out. You do gotta watch for falling rocks. I think that's what he does here. Oh, poison wave, okay. These will heal him. Alright, so he's back out. Gonna go on the other side of him. Hit him with our little laser beam there. Oh, shoot. Oh, wow. Okay, not familiar with this one. Can we burn him down? There we go, boss down. We did lose most of our shield there. I think we took damage, but I think we're still... Hey, ooh. No, that's not what we wanted. We're gonna move on. And we are on to the third and final biome. This one can be rather difficult with enemies. There's a lot of enemies here that are quick to move and quick to throw and quick to chase you. I think it's how she is a flow firing type character. I am excited to see how we handle this one. We can go with enemies earn rage when their pals die, or deadly traps in the room. This is the better option. Enemies you take, take 1,000% of the damage they deal you. I guess we go with that one. Alright, so this enemy's down. I was concerned. I was like kind of looking at them. We also got a perfect room for that in and all. So we are charging our shield back up. Ancient relic or money. I'm gonna go with money. We got 2 perfect room. I don't know what the stars mean for the perfect room. I don't know. You get like a bonus or something? It's not explained if you do. Enemies drop bomb, 1 dead. Don't like it. Oh. Ow. Don't you throw your ice spike balls at me. Ow. Yeah, this is gonna suck if we don't start dealing with some of these guys for farther range. Alright, there's that. We have 120 health bait. Nice. We go crit chance. Ow. Ow. I'm gonna move to the other side of the room. Trying to keep my distance as much as I can. Alright, so they're down. We're still managing to maintain our shield. That's nice. Get some healing, or we can go with essence. Let's go ahead and get the essence. It is worth noting you get teleported to a different room whenever you do the healing. But the oh my god, I got stuck on the wall there. That was wait, no, we actually had to kind of back off there. But the even after you get teleported away, you will still have to fight the mob. So, seeing as how our healing was somewhat decent already, I figured it's worth it just to go for that. Also, if you play better on mouse and keyboard, I would heavily suggest, like, the thing is, I'm good, but sometimes my reflexes are a little slow on there. We got a parchment for that one. Seems like we unlocked a new spell, or passive. But if you're better on mouse and keyboard, sometimes my hands kind of cramp up a little bit, and I'm not so good with mouse and keyboard. But I would wholeheartedly endorse that, because aiming gets a lot better in this game with the spells and abilities. Because the auto-aim system in this one, not as great as I would like. Sometimes you will aim in a general direction and your character will be like, I don't know what you're aiming at, the moon, and it gets kind of frustrating from time to time. Ooh, there's a spear guy amongst them somewhere, or there was. Should be, oh, just this guy probably. There we go. That's nice. And we have 20% crit chance? Yeah, we have 21% crit. We have a base value 1% when we start, so pretty decent stuff happening. We can go to the merchant. I say we do just that. Spend some of our hard-earned money. Still not what I want to see here, but some of this could be pretty good. The dash is actually not bad. I do wish you could re-roll these. When your health is full, your attack damage by 75%. No. Oh yeah, it is. I'm gonna go ahead and take that. I'm gonna go with the dash. Very sad that we're not seeing. I guess I'm gonna go with burning dart. Now we'll be able to set enemies on fire just by dashing out of harm's way. I go and move over here. Oh my god. I didn't think that was like in my hitbox, but apparently it was. The move from the dash is really nice. Like, I have no idea what you're aiming at over there, that one. Alright, there we go. Got 5 rooms left. Then we'll be on to the final boss. Let's see. Enemies absorb the first attack. Sure. Heal when you cast perfect skill. Skill becomes available. You hit enemy with lightning. Let's go with the perfect heal. This, the extra movement is just awesome. I gotta move out of the way there. Take some of those guys with me. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, we're still not at the end of this biome. Things could still get hellish. But one of the things that sometimes trips me up is they'll have bridges and gaps and whatever, and sometimes your dash doesn't go gap that you think it should over. So there's that. We'll go with the ancient relic and deal with the explosives. Do thunder dash. As much as I love the you do an extra damage when you don't dash, it's just you gotta know when to call it quits and know that you're in danger if you decide to take it out. Awesome. Oh, and we're already at the boss floor. Realized that we were already. Alright, this is the third boss, and we got one more left. Let's see if we get lucky with this one. This boss here is invulnerable in the middle of the room. We gotta kill these 4 worms in the outside of the room while also maintaining basically active control of the battlefield by dodging AoEs that the boss decides to put out. We're gonna do that one. Oh, come on. We're gonna dodge these little spikes to come out of the middle. And so we've seen everything that the boss can throw at us at this point on this phase. If we're gonna avoid these, we've gotta do this essentially 2 to 3 times depending on how fast we kill the boss. Now the boss's head will come out. I'm gonna go with it looks like maybe we actually will do this at 3 times. Yeah, maybe even possibly 4. As we get to the halfway point, the boss will actually have some new abilities up his sleeve, which is unfortunate for us. But all we need to do is focus on the boss itself. Get out of here. Did we kill it? I did. Okay, cool. Our hits there, if we do crit damage, we're actually doing a little bit extra here. That's nice. Does look like we are in phase 2 though, officially, so cool. Now the boss will have one new thing it can do. I have more. I don't think it does. Alright, that's another one down. Alright. Dodge the ice spikes coming out. And it looks like we might need one more. Yeah, we're gonna need one more. Get this done. So definitely the slowest killer of this boss so far, from what I can see. And I have not seen him do the other thing I really hate that he does. Which is, he basically... Oh! He has a middle and an outer wave of ice that's in different directions. Gotta dodge those. But... Back self. We get that flawless. This really sucks, because I really want double strike here. That'd have been a really nice skill to have. The good thing is we're on to the final boss of the game. So we almost did a complete run on our first showcase for the Rogue Loop. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of the game so far. So first things first, we're going to just go ahead and deal with all these guys. Oh, got hit by one of them. They will drop a bomb, these guys, the first time you kill them. Or not first time, but when you kill them, they'll drop a bomb. Alright, then you get this little here. We'll have another round of enemies, and then we'll face the final boss. The only, enemy that I hate here is the spellcaster there in the middle. Absolutely sucks nuts. You gotta wait for it to fire off in order to hit her, because if you don't, her skill tracks like crazy. But luckily for us, the amount of splash damage is nutty. So that series is down. Did we get the double attack? Got the double attack. And now we're on to the final boss here. Now the final boss is a combination of all the enemies we've seen so far. They'll even put terrain or modifiers in the middle of the room. They'll swap out at random intervals. But yeah, I gotta keep up with that. So there's a slowing zone there near the boss. Oh, shoot. New modifier. Gonna do what the first boss does on one form, so may not be familiar with that one. But we are making decent time here. Now we gotta dodge these, which I am not doing good at all. We have 1 health. Jesus Christ, I'm eating all of the attacks. Alright, going into phase 2. Boss will empty out the middle of the arena. We will then have to deal with ads. Oh, shoot. Oh, what is it? Oh, we got eggs. Oh, that's not good. Oh, we got... Oh, no, no, no. Oh, my God. We had too many modifiers going on. So those eggs there, if they hatch, they basically turn into elite enemies whenever they hatch. And then we had to kill those elites down. It's actually not as hard as it seems. I was actually doing fairly decent there, but I think given how slow her wind-up for her attacks is, probably was the thing I did the worst on. But that was almost a complete run of the base normal version with the character that I literally just unlocked. Cersei herself. So then I can showcase also what we do with the souls. So if you come over here, do the blessings of Omen, I can come over here if I so choose, and if I level it up, I believe it's going to take me 2 to do so. So we got it. We now have overflowing magic. Cersei can accumulate more magic power to fire the beam for longer. And if we choose to level it even further, enemies slain by the beam explode, dealing damage to nearby foes. So that's pretty cool. We can also opt to spend a soul here if we want, and it's going to unlock Teresh's Decree. It looks like Teresh's Decree allows her to sustain Teresh's Decree for a... So she still has to use that same bar on it, but she put the AoE down for just as pretty nice. Overall, I think that it's a pretty good system. I like the system. Over here, we can see what those parchment, or that parchment we picked up does. Looks like we found a new relic, Blood Taste. I am not entirely certain what Blood Taste does, but apparently it seems to be some sort of combination of fire. You cannot see what they do until you've picked them up somewhere in the run. And it looks like we have enough blue essence that we can do something like buy a wish. That'll allow us to come over here to our wishing well, and then spend that wish on doing something like upgrading our luck. So now we have a 5 or 6% chance to get rare or epic drops to happen for us. So that was a first look and my first impressions of Rogue Loops. Honestly, I played the demo for this one. I wasn't such a big fan of this the first time I played it, but now that the full release is out and I can upgrade my characters and try out the different play styles, I can honestly say I really am digging this game. I'm probably going to invest a little bit more time. I want to see if I can tackle the harder difficulties and see what other permutations of the ultimate abilities they have is. So that being said, if you like the content and you want to see more footage like this, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Oh, let me just think of the game. And until next time, you guys take care, and I will catch you all in the